All right, yeah, so we back, man. The podcast is moving, things are grooving, and we want to jump into this conversation about tax time. So, man, what comes to mind when we start talking, when you hear taxes, what comes to mind?
Money, money, money. Money.
Money, 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 money. Okay.
Unless you gotta own. You might have to owe them if you don't do it right.
I think that's the key for today's episode. Doing it right, man. So, yeah, do it right. You know?
And I wish you had a book on you, man, because you could probably talk about that book.
Oh, the top 10 ways to avoid paying taxes? It's on the bookshelf. It's on the book. No, wrong way. Bookshelf.
Yeah, she getting that. Go ahead and get that.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years was taxes. And first and foremost, I want to announce that we are not CPAs, right? The information that we're giving is for educational purposes only. So we encourage you to trust but verify. Trust but verify. So you got to go do some research. But speaking of research, this book right here changed my life. Right there. Can you see that? For my people that's listening to the audio version, this is Mark Twain's Top 10 Ways to Avoid Paying Taxes. That book was extremely helpful for me because one of the things it did was it made me more aware of the process of taxes, but more importantly, how to avoid them. Now, again, we say avoid, I pay taxes, right, bro? You pay taxes? Okay, we just want to make sure we pay taxes. But at the same time, there are things that you can do that will decrease your tax liability and allow you to win with the tax system instead of always getting upset or trying to cheat the tax system and them IRS send you them letters and then you say that you ain't gonna pay it and then they get their money anyway. All right. So first and foremost, the one thing that we want to definitely get you in the mindset of planning for tax time does not happen in January. Right. That's the key. Don't start thinking about taxes in January. You think about taxes all year round. Right. Always think about how you can leverage opportunities for tax purposes. One of the things that the book talked about was one way to decrease your tax liability is through ownership. Ooh, ownership. Now,
so you saying ownership, not just a W-2. You need some W-9s out there.
Ooh, what's a W-9?
No. So a W-9, a W-9 is something. Now, I don't know the exact form, but I can break it down in simple terms, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're an independent contractor, right? Mm-hmm. And you working for 1428 as a facilitator, right? Mm-hmm. He give you a W-9, you put your social on or your EIN from the business, and boom, boom. He sent that to you because he got to make sure he pay his taxes on that, but you got to pay your taxes as well. But it's not like a W-2, They didn't take taxes from you at that moment, so you still gotta pay taxes unless you have some write-offs, which we're gonna talk about.
And the key is this: a W-2, you say that you work for somebody. A W-9, you work with them. Right? That's important because we work together as partners as opposed to him working for me because I need him just as he needs.
Say that one more time, man.
So a W-2, you work for that person. A W-9, you work with that person. Ooh. That's ownership, right?
Hey, ownership.
Right? I can't come in and take innate vision, nor can I come in and fire him.
You can partnership with him.
And we can partner together, right? So that's number one, right? Ownership. And a lot of y'all out there are doing like a hobby or something where, like Will said, you need to start to say you're an independent contractor, right? Yeah. Some people are like, oh, I haven't found my LLC. I don't really know what I'm good at. You are doing something out there that you can monetize, meaning you can get paid for it. That's your business, right? So we ain't gonna go into the whole deep way of like how to register your business, how you gotta go to the Secretary of State of Law. Y'all should be able to know that. If not, Google it. There's a way that y'all can do it at a cheap cost. Now, avoid those people that's like, I can file your LLC for $200.
I'm saying that a lot right now. I'm seeing street dudes posting on their IG story, man. Come holler at me. I'm like, you sell drugs. What? Everything it's the wrong trick. Yeah. He's real. He's having kids. It can be, but right. Go ahead and finish that one because I'm looking at this like everybody tax filers now.
So you want to avoid people that's trying to like constantly monetize everything you do and put yourself in a point where you can kind of learn it yourself, right? Because it's not that hard to register your own business. It's actually not that hard to do your taxes if you have starting out with your business, you're just now starting out. And again, you're talking to someone about it. So I'll give you a quick story about how I learned how to do taxes. I was going to H&R Block and somebody was filing my taxes and I was paying for it all the time. Then I asked him, I was like, hey, you don't mind teaching me how to do this? She said, yes. One of the things I learned was everything that I was telling her, she was entering into a system.
Simple.
Right? Now, on one hand, that part is simple. The other part is this, and I'll be extremely serious about this. We have to stay knowledgeable about how tax laws change, right? How things can change. So when different administrations come in, different laws are passed, we have to position ourselves to say, okay, what is the child tax credit now? Mm-hmm. All these extra credits and benefits. So that's what you may be paying somebody to do, which is completely fine. But if you're just filing a simple 1040 easy or a 1040 and then you got a W-9 or something where you ain't made too much money and you're just claiming your kids, then try to see what that can look like, but then also send it to a professional, have them look it over. But then if you like got a couple businesses, you make a lot of money, you paying people, and it feels complex, then you may have to invest in a CPA because that can change your life. You don't want the IRS reaching out to you saying that you owe a lot of money because you wasn't willing to invest into a CPA.
Yeah, man, we got about 3 more minutes on here. We're going to ride this out probably like 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Something about. We'd like to make them short, but what my experience filing taxes, I never received a lot of money, even with my 2 sons. I received a lot more money when I started riding with Uber, Instacart, DoorDash, because you gotta file taxes, but you write on everything. So I get like $2,000 from each person. And then in their vision business, I get an extra like $1,000, $1,500.
You just tell all your business.
He just, I still how it is, y'all. Like, encourage y'all that, go deliver some food. Dude, at least try to do at least $1,000 a year. That's all you got to do.
Because what happens is you have, let's go back to how the tax system was implemented, right? First and foremost, I tell this to people all the time. The tax system was created by people that have businesses, right? Because they wanted to make sure that they could leverage it. Right? We can take race and all that aside. At the end of the day, the tax system was created for that, right? So one of the main things that you typically recognize is the wealthier people, they typically have family businesses, right? So we all have businesses, but our family isn't in our business.
So that's deep.
Right. They're in our other business, but they're not in our business. You get that, Belli? Belli, sit on the couch. I'm gonna say it again. They're in our business, but they're not in our other business, right? So for example, all of my kids work for me, right? And when I say they work for me, like they actually had to apply for the job. I had to fill out paperwork for them, keep it documented because you have to stay audit ready.
You don't play around.
They all have different bank accounts and I pay them through those accounts. My daughter was working for me earlier today, and then I got one behind the camera as we speak right now making money. You can come on, just show them some proof real quick.
Crazy.
Right? So there we go. That's my daughter right there. She's working the camera today because she's going to get paid for it through our business. But what's going to happen is when I go to file taxes, I'm going to show that I pay her. So now I'm deducting from my income that way. But what she does with her money is she spends it on something like gymnastics, right? You got to put those two together. How can you leverage the kids around you to work in your business so that you can then leverage the tax system? Because people been doing that ever since the tax system was created.
Now, we got a lot of clips of posting TikTok or IG. Man, you speak, hey. We might bring part 2 of tax. That's good. I was thinking that's more. Tax is more sure, and I'm still learning,
Yeah, there's so much more. So another part about taxes is because remember I said not only January. Like for Will and I, we have a lot of business transactions, right? Whether it's us going out to eat, talking about the business, whether us traveling to Columbus to do workshops. We do so many things. So what happens is we're focusing on our taxes year round. We could be doing a workshop together in October, right? And we hitting each other up, sending each other messages through our phone, like using our phone for that. Then we can go claim our cell phone, right, on our taxes. So it's things like that where tax time is not just a January conversation. It is literally year round, right?
Get that money, man. We're gonna talk about part two. We're gonna talk part two for y'all on just encouraging y'all to how to spend that money. I think that's neat. That can be another.
That's real good. So yeah, we coming back. Episode 4 on how to spend your tax money so that you can be set up for the next year. So we'll end it here. Thank y'all for joining us again. And all right.
Is this what you want? We've been waiting for a long time to talk about family, finances, and your future. You're rocking with your host, Dondre Brown. Count the cost. Let's go.